Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how being selfish can open a portal for the enemy to make his way into your space. You know what I'm saying? And what brought me to this subject today, I just been diving in a little bit and thinking about selfless and being selfish, you know? And I also was thinking about malicious intent. And I realized, like, throughout my journey, for me personally, when I tend to make decisions that didn't push me in the healthiest place, it usually was due to, I thought my shit was falling. It usually was due to me putting self first before thinking of the overall bigger picture. So when I break this down, right, I can say, like, we need to be self-aware in order to ascend and to grow in this journey and out here in this frequency, in this realm. You know what I'm saying? You have to be self-aware. Your self-awareness is not the same thing as the selfishness that leads to the decision making. So on a small example, right? Let's say somebody really wanted to see you or spend time with you, but you had stipulations in place, you know what I'm saying? So then the opportunity was presented to them that they could come spend some time with you and be in your space. But they knew that they wasn't in the healthiest space and they knew that their energy wasn't up to par, but they still chose to come be in your space because they just really love being in your energy. You know what I'm saying? But as that transpires, it end up causing, like, an entanglement. Is an experience to learn from, but it's also an entanglement because it's like this person knew that they wasn't in the best space to come give you energy, but because they put self first, how you felt, how your energy was, and what you was going through really got processed last. So even if it's hurting you in the process, what opened the portal for them was the selfishness, you know? So when you are being selfless or you're just being more self-aware, then you realize, okay, when I am selfish to a certain degree or when I put me first, this tends to lead to other portals being open or me making decisions that I normally wouldn't have made or that I just feel I wouldn't have been as comfortable making if it wasn't for that way. So just going through that process and just understanding the selfishness versus the selflessness and how the selfishness opens a portal for the entity to kind of pull you. You know, a lot of stuff that we do is due to us wanting to do it for self. You know, whether I'm taking my medicine, that's for me. Whether you drinking, that's for you. Whether you out swimming, that's for you. You know what I'm saying? Just different things that you can name that you do because, you know, it has to do with self. And I realized, like, thinking about malicious intent and people who are selfish or people who tend to put themselves first on the frame of the grand scheme of things, right? This is one of the #1 tactics that the enemy uses to kind of rail you into their team, to kind of give you an excuse, to kind of give you something to kind of flow with, to make it seem like it makes sense because you're correlating yourself and how you can get something or rewarded from it. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's not a reward, you're still getting something energetically from it. So being in this journey and growing and ascending, you realize it's not about being selfish and about putting yourself last. It's more so about protecting your energy and being as selfless as you possibly can be when it comes to making certain decisions. Not saying you give away everything or give away your all, but like I gave earlier, the example earlier, if the other being would have just expressed how they were feeling, okay, I'm not in the best energy space, you know, I don't want to come by and drop this other energy on you because I want to be in your energy and I'm not in your energy all the time, so I'm going to put me in that space, and it may not be done with malicious or ill intent, But it's neglecting and pushing your energy and motion off to the side. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, when we get to this journey of ascending and trying to find the right information and knowledge and shit like that, it tells you to focus on self. It tells you to put self first. It tells you self. Yes, it is about your being in your vessel, but the more I am in this journey and ascending and walking in this path, the more I realize, like, I've always protected my energy, so there's no need for me to be selfish when I always lived a selfless life. But I could look and compare my notes from my experiences from when I decided to make selfish decisions, and I could see how those selfish decisions will lead to me going down other paths and opening up other portals to allow these other entities to come in and do what they do. You know what I'm saying? So it's really more so now about understanding who you are spiritually and protecting your energy and not being selfish. You know, you having to do something for yourself isn't selfish. You remove that word. This is just you protecting your energy. You have things you have to do. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the same thing as making a decision and excluding somebody else's, you know, being all around, you know, for your own benefit or just for your own selfish purpose reasons. You know what I'm saying? It'll be hard to create the shift, right? For one, to teach people and to walk a life of selflessness if you're still being selfish. If the small decisions you're making that doesn't have anything to do with other people, just say you could be just being selfish within yourself in the universe. So for me, it's like I be having the birds and stuff and the squirrels and shit that I feed out here. But sometimes I come in the house and it's like I sit down and it's like, oh shit, one of them will pull up to the door and it's like, I could be selfish and not feed them because I don't feel like getting up. Or I can get up and get them some shit and I can go sit back down and finish going on about my day. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have anything to do with any actual human beings, you know, any spiritual beings having human experience. It's just about nature and life itself. So me making these selfless acts on a smaller scale and in my own personal space, it helps me make these selfless acts when I'm in a bigger space and I'm dealing with other beings and other entities that's in my space. It always starts within here, you know. And I tell my daughter, like, just because a physical being doesn't see you doing something don't mean you're not being watched or saw. And I don't mean by the system, I mean by the universe. And if you don't believe in the universe in that way, then you just know that you're going to get the same energy that you put out. You know, so however you word it or flip it, or if you're religious, you know, you already know your God, your Allah is looking down or watching you. You know, so just being in that space and understanding, like, be mindful and try to make sure you're being more selfless than selfish. And if you're in a space to where you're confused about it, just know that if you're doing certain things because your energy is in motion and it's like trying to rile you up, a lot of the times that's just you figuring out a way to protect your energy. It has nothing to do with you being selfish, like, oh, they're pissing me off and I gotta get away. No, sometimes it be a motherfucker really attacking you and striking you in the spiritual world and you're just doing certain tactics to protect your energy. But because the English language is so funky, you take it as, oh, I gotta be selfish and do it in this manner. Let's remove the selfish shit, because we know the selfish shit is going to ride with the opposition, you know. So for us, we are taking the steps needed to protect our energy at all costs. It's a war going on out here, you know what I'm saying? So I don't say I have to do things in a selfish manner. I say I do things to protect my energy, and I practice living a selfless life, you know. The more I can be selfless, the easier it is for me to protect my energy when I need to. I didn't need nobody telling me, hey, get up and feed the animals and the birds and shit that's going on out here. No. The universe, it flows through me. It's like, all right, this is an opportunity for you to be selfless or selfish. The universe is going to present the opportunity. It's going to be your job to make sure you're aware of the presentation. Sometimes you're gonna miss the whole fucking presentation because you're in some other kind of space. But when you're constantly self-aware, you're not concerned with being selfish. That doesn't play a factor because you're so aware on another level that you already know, oh no, that's selfish. I'm just doing this to protect my energy. I've been doing this for 36 years. I've never been selfish. I could think of times where I did do things personally for myself, but the overall on a percentage scale, 80 to 90%, I am a selfless being, not a selfish being. So don't allow other people to put these spells on you and because you're researching and learning and they're saying, oh, sometimes you gotta do for self and self. That sounds like the opposition as well too, because they do for self, and they do for self leads their agenda. You know, that's the easiest way to get it. Oh, well, you could do this because you can get something out of it. Oh, you could do that because you'll benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just changing the mindset and the concept of being selfish, you know, and being aware of the opportunities presented to you for you to be selfless, and knowing when you're protecting your energy. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kids, of course.